Now, in honor of the 100th anniversary of International Women's Day, let's shine a light on a few stories that are making headlines out there. In the UK, the new James Bond actor Daniel Craig is in a video exposing inequalities towards women. While here in the U.S., people are up in arms over a new show based on a book called Good Crhistian Bitches. Yep, those are the priorities, people. Now, joining me from our studio in New York is Lilith Marcus, editor-in-chief of Crushable.com and author of Save the Assistants, a guide for surviving and thriving in the workplace. Lilith, thanks so much for joining us. Now, I just want to start right off the bat by playing this little video clip that Daniel Craig, or James Bond as most of us know him, was involved in. Let's take a look.
It's not just about money and power. Every year, 70 million girls are deprived of even a basic education, and a staggering 60 million are sexually assaulted on their way to school. We're afraid to walk the streets at night.
Okay, Lilith, so I'd say that that's kind of powerful, right? Would you say that celebrities do have the power to influence, to get involved in political issues?
Well, I think the sheer number of people who watched the Daniel Craig video online today really speaks to that. We actually posted it at Crushable, and it was one of our biggest posts for today. So what I love to see, there is nothing sexier than a guy standing up for women and supporting them.
And you got to say, Daniel Craig is kind of a good option in that sense, right? He's kind of a sexy guy.
For real.
Well, while we see that video playing, people in the UK trying to highlight the issues of women around the world, the U.S., or may I just say Fox News and perhaps certain, Christian advocates and publishers out there are really upset because there's a new series that has a pilot that is based on a book called Good Crhistian Bitches. And there's just been a pilot. The network hasn't even picked it up yet, and they're up in arms. I mean, really, are those where our priorities lie?
Unfortunately, for a lot of people, the answer to that question is yes. I mean, the fact that a Twitter feed got turned into a TV show and they still had to bleep the title, I think says a lot about what passes on networks these days. And unfortunately, people would rather complain about the title of a TV show because that distracts us all from noticing that there are a lot of people out there trying to take women's rights away.
Well, I think this is something that a lot of people are debating too. When it comes to the word bitch, is it still bad? Is it always derogatory, or has it become a little mainstreamed? I love that Jezebel was using the example of Britney Spears and some of her pop music to show that some people use it, as a form of empowerment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Elizabeth Wurtzel's book, Bitch, was a great example of young feminists trying to reclaim the word bitch as something that's positive. I hear so many young women on the subway and in the street calling each other bitch almost as a term of endearment. I don't really think that it has the same tone that it used to.
But of course, one of the other concerns with this supposed TV show that may or may not come to be is that a lot of people feel, or at least those who are appearing on Fox News said, that it gives a bad perception of Christians. Do you find it a little ironic to hear people say things like that on Fox News, the same network that constantly, spreads Islamophobia and has anchors say things like all Muslims are terrorists?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that they're so willing to scream discrimination about a show that doesn't even exist yet, a pilot that's been cast and hasn't even been filmed, I think it's ridiculous, and I think it's a diversion.
Now let's talk about something we've spoken about on this show, which is that the GOP right now is waging a much broader war on women, war on women's reproductive rights, their rights to health services, you could say, with the defunding of Planned Parenthood. I feel like not enough women out there know that this is happening. How do you spread the word more?
Well, I was really impressed by the huge turnout online within the last few weeks, getting people to sign up for walks in their town or city and encouraging people who didn't have one in their town to sign up. I think the internet is such a wonderful tool for organizing, and it's such a great way to reach a lot of people at once. So I would encourage people, if all you use your Facebook wall for is just to catch up with old friends or post what you're having for breakfast today, think about what you can do via social networking and how you can get awareness out there about whatever issue you're interested in.
But how else do you feel about the fact that they're trying, I mean, from my perspective, I feel like they're completely trying to turn back the clock, and they keep using this, you know, idea of abortion to act like it's the central issue behind it all. But Planned Parenthood, you know, this is something that provides health services. This does cancer screenings, STD screenings. How can we allow something like this to happen?
Yeah, it is really sad. And unfortunately, because they're trying to make this an issue about abortion, Hillary Clinton once said that she, too, doesn't want lots of abortions. And for her, the way to do that isn't to ban abortion or make it illegal. For her, that's to have good, comprehensive, available sex education. Because if people protect themselves and take care of themselves now, there won't be unwanted pregnancies to abort in the first place. And I really wish more people would think about all the other services that Planned Parenthood and organizations like it offer, because that's what's really important. Abortions are such a small percentage of what they do.
All right, Lily, I want to thank you very much for joining us, and happy Women's Day to you. I've definitely made a lot of phone calls to all my female family members today, and, you know, let's make people keep talking about it. Thanks.
Agreed. Thank you.